Oh, mic's not on. Hey, we're back. Hypergrowth Blueprint. Welcome. We're in the middle of our live training recording. Hit refresh. But if you didn't hit refresh, then you wouldn't have heard me say that. But if you're already here, then you don't need to hit refresh. But hey, we're going to get this ramped up. I'm going to bring Heather back in here. If you are just meeting Heather, a lot of us from VRA and IC know her, but she's the Chief Operation Officer of Think Media. She's a clarity and branding expert, really good at just helping people refine their message, and online marketer, business builder, entrepreneur. Heather Torres. Hey, Heather, come in here. I'll be right back. We'll jump into the next session, but let's get synchronized up.
Awesome. All right. So if you are seeing me, then you're on the next page. This is the part where I really want you to cut out distractions. I know that we've been on for now a couple hours, and your mind's probably like already, oh my gosh, this is so much info. But what I want you to do is just take a breath, because this is a lot of information, and I understand that. But this is the information that you're going to need to go faster in your YouTube journey. What Sean's about to teach right now is going to be a lot of head. It's going to be a lot of thinking. It's going to be a lot of strategy. And so I just want you to be prepared for that. So just cut out those distractions, get your water, get everything ready to go. What else do we need, Mel? What else is on my docket for what I'm telling them?
Just make sure that they're engaged in chat. We're going to be doing the
awesome
giveaway.
Yes, definitely be engaged in the chat. So if you have questions while Sean is going through the training, definitely ask them in the chat, because Melissa and I will be gathering those questions. We'll be delivering them to Sean, or when we get to intermission again, I'll come on and I will answer some of the questions. But I just want you to be taking notes through this. So your worksheet that you had was for the first part of this. The second part is really for you to write down the things that are important as we're going through these analytic steps. So then we're going to be doing a book giveaway. How do you win? You win by being active in the chat. That's how you win. So,
and if you have questions, put question mark, question mark, question mark, write your question mark, so we can grab it from the chat and put it in queue for Sean or Heather.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are ready for the next round.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, this next session, friends, is no joke. Get ready, as Heather said, set out distractions, because we're going to be getting into some YouTube analytics, and this might hurt your head a little bit, but I want to encourage you. It'll help. And years ago, I sat at a conference and started learning about YouTube analytics, and I understood some of it, and other stuff I didn't understand. Understand, again, this course is kind of an advanced level course. The goal especially after these next two sessions, is that you would be pretty much a YouTube master, that you would understand how YouTube works. And so that's what we're going to be diving into. So thanks for being here. I'm fired up. And let me get my window ready, because this is also where I'm going to take you inside of actually analytics, and so we can master those. Are you ready? I'm ready. See if I can get that. YouTube Studio Beta. If you have your phone, because you guys are here live, if you have a phone or a second computer or something, it's two monitors or a second device, you might want to open up your analytics right now and walk through some of these things that you'll be like, wow, I didn't even know that was there. So that could be fun too, to follow along. Okay, we're going. Here we go. Clarity and branding's over. How YouTube works. That's not the right camera, and that's the point of this. Okay, here we go. Feeling good. 3, 2. I'm actually going to copy a little slide right here. I think this will be pretty. We can always add this later, but I'm just going to add it right now. I'm using PowerPoint, just so you know. Since no one asked, but there you go. Okay, here we go. Feeling it. All right. Clarity and branding is over. How YouTube works is next. All right. Welcome back to the YouTube Hypergrowth Blueprint. 10 proven strategies for triggering growth, boosting profit, and creating raving fans on YouTube. Of course, I'm Sean Cannell, and I'm so pumped that you're here. Now, as we dive into YouTube analytics in this third part of the course, we've been laying the foundation of our strategy, right? We know that strategy is important, and getting crystal clear clarity on the purpose and And if we don't have total clarity yet, that's okay. It's a process, right? But now, how does YouTube work so we can understand really how to play the game? And then later on in the course, we're going to be talking about specific strategies that will be built upon this next part. So let's just dive straight into it. In part 3, it's analytics and how YouTube works. And in this first session, we're just going to take a quick tour through YouTube analytics. So this is almost kind of like, let's warm things up. Let's just kind of look inside, dig around before we dive into some of the specific training and principles so that we can learn what you're even seeing when you're inside your YouTube analytics. So where I want you to go is your YouTube Creator Studio in the upper right-hand corner of your computer, and you can select, make sure you're on your right account, and you're probably going to be in what is known as YouTube Studio Beta. And for most of us, if you want, you could still get to the Creator Studio Classic in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Now, YouTube Studio Beta, maybe by the time you're watching this course, will just be called YouTube Studio. This is where the future is going. The Creator Studio Classic is, I love it. I'm used to it. I've learned it, but it's built on 10-year-old technology. So imagine, like if I was trying to run this recording right now with a 10-year-old laptop, it's not going to work. Or I'm going to have to spend thousands of upgrading weird components to get it to be able to handle new technology. So the new YouTube Studio is not just really cool now, but it's also going to be getting better over the years. But what's also cool is basically everything YouTube's learned since it was founded in 2005 is getting more refined. So YouTube, more than ever before, is telling us how it works. So inside of YouTube Studio Beta, this is one of my favorite things. This is going to be your last video snapshot. And it's going to be telling you how your last video performed and giving you some comments. You can go directly to the analytics of this video. It's also always going to try to give you news. There is a site called Creator Insider, or rather a YouTube channel by YouTube. So YouTube publishes their own updates about YouTube. Sometimes they're kind of dry, but if you want to stay in the know, you can always watch those. It actually will give you ideas for your channel, and it'll tell you maybe a few other things, including things like get a custom URL. Now, I have a custom URL, but maybe because my channel's so old, it doesn't realize that. And then over on the left, you have channel analytics, and it says go to channel analytics, which is where we'll go in just a second. Keeping in mind that the way YouTube Studio Beta works is there's a channel level and there's always a specific video level. So then on our left side, we'll look at a few things here. You can click videos. And so typically the way beta is meant to work is, I forget the technical term, but it's meant to work off one item at a time, meaning like a video. And here's what I mean. You can go to your dashboard. You can click on channel analytics on the over right side here, or on analytics on the left. And this will take you to a macro high-level analytics. This is the whole channel in the last 28 days. This is the whole channel in the last 90 days, right? And so that is, you can see it from that level. But then what you do is you click on videos and you might ask, okay, how did this one video perform? And then I can change my thumbnail or my description. But then I go to the left and I type analytics, click analytics. Now I'm seeing analytics just for this video. Do you see what happened there? And if I go back, I'm going to see all of my videos again. And if I go to just analytics, that is for the entire channel right here. Got it? And so now let's kind of tour through some of the features. So if we're on our dashboard, what I like to look at is a lot of times my last video. Go to video analytics. This is the last video I put out. A couple things we see here is the gray area. That is always how your video typically performs. If I hover over there, it says, hey, usually by the first day in 22 hours, you have between 11,000 and 20,000 views. You know, usually by 6 days later, this is how your videos plateau, and it's typically here. This guy, the blue line, shows it's performing a little bit better than average, which is great. That's just your watch time minutes, how many minutes this video has been watched, and it was released very recently. I can click views and see how views are performing compared to minutes as well. Now, if I scroll down, I can see the audience retention, concurrent viewers if it was live or premiered. And I actually can see the real-time traffic. One of my favorite things about YouTube. In the last 48 hours, this video has gotten 6,000 views. And in the last 60 minutes, literally real time as we are recording this course, it's gotten 65 views in the last hour, this one video. And then on any video or channel, you go through these same categories. So let's go up to a top level again, reset everything so we can make sure we're synchronized. We're here in analytics. We can also go to the macro channel analytics, and then we can click reach viewers, interest viewers, build an audience, and go through our different tabs. But again, if we go to videos, maybe I want to look at a video that's a little bit older. Best 4K camera setup for YouTube. Now I'm in all of the place where I can control all the details of it. But if I click analytics, now I'm seeing those same tabs, the overview, reach viewers, interest viewers, build an audience of this video specifically. A few other things to look at as we dive into this pertaining to the next part of this training is that on any page as we scroll down, when you look in at audience retention, many of these boxes allow you to click on them and open up even more information. So now I can very specifically analyze where people were watching this video. And this is the viewership curve. This is where people were leaving, for example. If I want to learn more about analytics, I can hover over different areas like the audience retention here, and it'll explain what that means. How well your video keeps people watching. Viewership data for each moment of your video can help you understand how to keep viewers engaged. So really, YouTube's doing a great job of explaining exactly what it wants. So if we move into, say, reach viewers, now we can see impressions. Again, you can click through these, see the click-through rate right when it launched, 3%, 4.6 a little while later, see the views, and take a pause. If already you're like, okay, this is crazy. We're just kind of warming up. And so what I want you to do is kind of just get a vibe. Over the next part of this course, we're going to layer upon layer go through analytics. And there's also going to be some repetition because repetition is the father of learning, so we can really understand these concepts. Even unique viewership. What were the unique viewers there? How did it plateau down? So you can look through these different things, and also keep in mind that you can always change the time. So this is since published. This is the total lifetime of this video. But we could say, well, how about in just the last 28 days? What was happening? Okay. What was happening? And it's not that old, but you can imagine some of your older videos. Now, on any of these tabs, you could go into traffic sources. This is where views come from. If you click see more, it opens up even more, right, data that we can dive into. So what I want you to discover here is that there's layers and we can do different cool things to get data inside of here. So for example, let's take it back and let's look at the channel overall. A couple cool things we could do here. One of my favorite things is you could go 2018. This is how you look at your entire year, right? Your entire year of what happened. And if you've been on YouTube for a while, this is a great snapshot. When you uploaded your videos, how many videos and how that correlate to the traffic. What were your top videos in 2018? I can open this, and as I dive into it, I can now see, okay, here's my top videos. And look, there's a whole bunch more. I can go the traffic sources. What were the traffic sources in 2018? How did suggested videos do for me? And then there's a nice blue line here. That's my videos being in suggested over the 2018 year. How much traffic did YouTube search generate? Oh, wow. So YouTube search is the purple. Okay. Well, how's that compare to browse features? That would be current subscribers. And a good place to be, you learn these principles, is you actually want your suggested videos to be 2 to 3 times more than your browse features. Because if a subscriber gets a notification that one of your videos is out, hopefully they watch 2 to 3 videos. And your biggest source of suggested video traffic is your own library, not other people's videos. So you learn things like that. But again, I just kind of want you to get a feel for the navigating through here, how you can work on search across the channel and now jump into one specific video based on some of these things or go channel wide. And one other major thing to see here is as we go into reach viewers, we're going to be talking about impressions and how they led to watch time and this really cool funnel that YouTube Studio now gives us over here. This really begins to reveal, honestly, some secrets that are sort of hidden in plain sight for how to win on YouTube, how we can get YouTube to recommend our content, and a lot of other information that we need to know. And so at this point, this was just an overview. I want you to kind of just dive into the waters, dig around, click on some boxes, click on some different places. And even if it doesn't make sense, the goal here is to take a quick tour through your analytics. So feel free to pause the course right now and look around maybe for 5 or 10 minutes, geek out a little bit, but then come back because in the next session, we're going to be diving deep into some of these things. And don't forget to be patient. This is almost like looking at a new language. And even if you're a world-class YouTuber and you've been doing this for a while, I encourage you, don't stay in the mode of learning. There's always something new for you to learn. I've found that there's layers of understanding nuances of how YouTube works. And when I do, why, Sean? Why should we learn all of this? Because then you can make data-driven decisions. When we've got all this information, it's irresponsible for us not to be going back of the content you're putting so much hard work in, videos you're putting so much hard work in, and looking, are they working? Why are they working? Or why are things not working? And what can I learn so that I can make better data-driven decisions in the future? And so in the next session, we're going to be talking about 10 YouTube analytics that will help you grow faster. So I will see you in the next session. Yeah, we didn't put a little blue slide there. No big deal. That was perfect. So I'll cut it back here. There's no reason for us to, I don't think there's a reason for us. There we go. All right, so we'll just keep this thing rolling. I hope you're doing good, friends. That was kind of just an introduction to analytics. And what'd you think? Was that things you'd seen before? What's up, Traveling with Chair? I see your chat. Data-driven decisions. I love it, Denise. Okay, cool. So I'm fired up. We're going to keep it going. And then we're going to do some analytics questions, especially after this next one. So in this next one, I want you definitely paying attention. And we'll answer some questions big time.
Do the questions right now?
No, because that was just the warm-up. Okay. So at the end of this next part, we'll probably have a pretty significant time for questions. Okay. And so refine for me the most sniper best ones for in the course, and one by one I'll answer them on a Google Doc. All right. Here we go. 3, 2. All right, welcome back to the YouTube Hypergrowth Blueprint. I hope you had some fun looking through your analytics, getting just some different insights and maybe getting a little bit confused. But in this next part of this module, we're going to be diving deep into 10 specific YouTube analytics that will help you grow faster. Now, here's the thing. One of the goals of a successful relationship is to make the other person happy, right? Like, if you're pursuing someone, you're trying to figure out what they like, how to win them over. And, you know, when I look at this picture, if the girl is YouTube, I got a little YouTube logo on there. This guy, man, I mean, he got dressed that day. Like, he got a nice ring. He got the flowers. He's confused. He's like, dude, why? I can't make her happy. Why am I getting rejected? And sometimes this is maybe how we feel about YouTube, right? You know, it's like, she's sending me mixed signals. Like, what am I doing things right? Why isn't the algorithm giving me favor? It worked one way. Her mind is changing all the time, you know, whatever it is. And you might feel that way about YouTube. And maybe you feel like she's saying like, oh, you know what? It's not you, it's me. You know, we're just figuring out, our engineers are figuring, you know, whatever it is. But YouTube is kind of like relationships. Why? Because again, if our goal is to make the other person happy, we should ask, what makes YouTube happy? Like, if you want to win on YouTube, we should say, like, what makes YouTube happy, right? Like, what is it they want more from us? And when we can identify those things and give YouTube what it wants, then YouTube will promote our content to more people. Our channel will grow faster. And that is the key to achieving true hypergrowth on YouTube. And so it brings us to YouTube Analytics. And here's the thing. YouTube Analytics is not just giving us meaningless info about our videos. It's not just like basic tracking data, right? We wonder, like, is this just data or like, what is it that matters to YouTube? But they're being very intentional about the information they choose to share with us. And that lets us know what they want more of. So we have to then say, are we paying attention to the signals they're sending our way, right? My wife and I have been married now for over a decade. When we first got married at 21, you can bet I was kind of a bonehead, man. You know, like there was times where I remember I forgot her birthday once. So what I did was I just bought her some gift cards at Safeway that morning into the last minute. And it wasn't that she, and you maybe some of you could relate, you know, it wasn't that she was like ultimately the thing that she wanted. It was the fact she wanted me to care and pay attention and be more involved in her and remembering her than involved in my work and these things you learn over the years. So she'd be sending me signals, right? Signals like, hey, so what had happened was she's been like, I was sending you signals about what to get me. We went shopping at the mall. She's like, you took me shopping. I pointed at things I liked. And the truth was I just forgot, woke up and I was like, shoot, it's her birthday. Let me buy her 2 REI gift cards. And I couldn't even get the full amount. I think I had to buy 2 50s, making it even more instead of 1 100, which it was already a lose-lose situation. Now, here's the thing. If you're not paying attention to the signals your partner is sending you in a relationship, the relationship may not work out. Same is true about YouTube. They're sending us data inside of YouTube Studio and the analytics. They're sending us signals like, hey, do more of this, do less of this. Here's what we want. Even those little areas you can hover over in Studio Beta are like, this is what this means, and like, do more of this. So in this session, we're going to dive into some specific things about really what does YouTube want and what makes YouTube happy. And we may have heard the phrase, experience is the best teacher, right? Experience is the best teacher. But I love this quote from John Maxwell. Experience isn't the best teacher, evaluated experience is. A legend, by the way, New York Times bestselling author, over 20 million books sold, right? And so it was such an honor. One of my heroes got to meet him. But I love that quote because with YouTube, it's so important. It's not just experience on YouTube that's the best teacher. Like just because you posted a lot of videos and like taken a lot of action, and maybe you've even been doing this for a while, no, evaluated experience. I heard one person put it this way. Someone goes, well, I got 20 years of experience. And he said, no, you don't. You have 1 year repeated 20 times. Kind of makes your heart sink. Why? Because you're just doing the same things. You're not changing, adapting. You're not pivoting your plan. Because when you get evaluation of what's been happening, you go, this isn't working, then stop what's not working. This is, start doing what is working. Experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluated experience is. And so that's why we're going to study these. And that's why it's so important. Now, a disclaimer too, you need at least, this would be like minimum, 10 uploads over 2 to 3 months to get good insights. Like analytics inherently are not going to give you information when you're just starting. You need some momentum, some content out there. So this is also, if you're early stage in your journey on YouTube, I want you to post 10 to 30 videos over 2 to 3 months time with relative clarity, and then take some time to evaluate so you can adjust your strategy. Now, most of us watching and where you are with our team and investing in this course, we're a little bit further along. So we've got some sample sizes. We've got some data to look at so that we can make decisions about our YouTube channel. All right, so 10 YouTube analytics that will help you grow faster. And all of these are phrased as questions. Let's get into it. Number 1, what videos are getting the most watch time? What videos are getting the most watch time? So I pulled this up in our Video Influencers channel. We're in the studio. We're in analytics. And right there on that main page under overview is your top videos. Your top videos. These are your top videos, your last 28 days. And it's by minutes. It's saying, hey, in YouTube's opinion of what your top videos are, it's not the most viewed videos. It's the most minutes, the most watch time in the last 28 days. So ask, what videos are getting the most watch time? Now, if you click see more, then it'll open up to a larger screen. And one of the baseline principles we need to remember is on YouTube, minutes matter most, not views. They want minutes, they want watch time. So once we're inside of this area, now we can actually see a lot of data they give us, but we can also see why this is ranked the way it is. So how many impressions did the video get? That's that first one. Based on those impressions, what's an impression? If I pull out my phone right now and I go to my YouTube homepage and I see a thumbnail, but I don't click in it, that was an impression, but not a click. If I'm even in my subscription feed and I see Heather uploaded her new homeschool video, but I scroll past it, Heather from the Think Media team, and I scroll past it, well, I saw it, but I didn't click on it. That'd be an impression. And so how many impressions did the video get? How many clicks did it get? And what's the click-through rate? Important. How many views did this video get? What was the average view duration? So if someone watches it, well, across all the views of a video, the average on it doesn't matter how long it was, they watched for 5 minutes on average. Everybody did, or whatever. But then the final one is the one that is actually putting these in order, and it's the watch time minutes. So minutes matter most, and we should be asking ourselves, so what videos are getting the most watch time? And then making data-driven decisions to say, I should do more of that. I should do more like that style. Why is this one of the top ones? What about it is unique? And a tip here is actually high-value, longer-form content. On Video Influencers, our top 2 videos got 131,000 views during this time period and 88,000 views. But the third one in third place got 13,000 views. Why is it in third place? Well, the average view duration 17 minutes long. So in the ranking in YouTube's eyes, it's the third most popular, but it's not even close in views, or the third most valued by them because minutes matter most. So look at this same tip, high value, longer form content. Depends on your niche. You always got to adapt these strategies to your topic. But the top 2 videos on Think Media right now have an average view duration of 1 hour and 7 minutes and 58 minutes. So I'm learning, by the way, that doesn't mean you go all in on long form. You got to be doing both, because those snappier, tighter videos, edited videos can help you reach new audience. And not a lot of people want to hang out for you with an hour before they know you're good for it, before they know you got the good information, or you're going to help them or solve a problem or entertain. But once you've got like a fan or someone who cares, or they want the content, they're probably listening to it in their car, listening to a podcast. But here's what I'm immediately making decisions. I'm saying, okay, we're going to keep doing the shorter videos, but I'm going to do more longer form videos. In fact, I avoid, even in my live streams, I try to make them 20 to 25. You couldn't even get an average view duration. So it said, okay, at least a couple times a month, I should be doing some super long form content, because it's going to boost my minutes. Minutes matter most. I get more minutes. YouTube promotes me more. See the power of knowing how it works? Let's keep going. Tip, choose a specific time period to evaluate that. In our introduction, we kind of went through that. Keep in mind that on any one of these pages, you can look at it in the last 7 days, last 28, the lifetime, specific years, or even a custom arrangement, and say, okay, I just want to really focus in on a custom range of time. And I think a good question is, what videos did best in the last 90 days or in the last year? And one of my favorite ways to evaluate macro channel analytics is in at least 90 days. You know, as we go through this, right now, we've been traveling, we've been gone, I haven't been uploading as much, so we're kind of down this month, but we're massively up over the first quarter of the year. So you get a bigger picture, because it's about the long game, not just about the small snapshot window. Both matter, but I love to get that elevated perspective over the channel. So experiment with looking at different time periods. Tip number 2, or question number 2, what is your view and watch time velocity? So one of my favorite things about the YouTube Studio now is this card here, and at times it will give you very plain information to help you understand how well your video is performing. So look what it says. In the first 10 hours and 52 minutes, this is how well your video is doing compared to your typical performance. Out of your last 10 uploads, it's number 8. Your views are actually down 14%, but the average view duration is up almost 100%. And if minutes matter most, that's something to be paying attention to, right? And then the overall watch time minutes are up 69%. So now we can audit every time we upload to say, hey, am I missing it? And you always want to be doing at least as good as your last time. And if you're identifying, you upload a couple that are like under your normal performance, unless you're doing a major brand shift, stop, fix something, and go back to paying attention to the data. So then when you dive into it, what's the velocity? We talked about it. This gray area is your typical velocity. Like typically when I upload a video in Think Media in the first 10 hours, right? It would be in this gray area, but I had the blue line. The blue line is, oh, it's a little bit above. And YouTube is giving me some cool information that said your video did well in the first 10 hours. It got this many views, which is similar to what you typically get. So you're like, okay, I'm par for the course. When it comes to YouTube, look, it's not about viral videos or hero videos all the time. You know that. It's kind of like baseball. It's about just getting a base hit. Because look, if you get a base hit every time, you're going to win the game. Not super sexy. Dude just bunted it and barely made it on base. Doesn't matter. I got on base. And then you get a video out, get on base, get another video out, get on base. Then you get kind of lucky or the stars align and it's timing and it's a trend and it's a viral video. Boom. And then you run everybody home. You get that grand slam, right? If the bases are loaded. So thinking about like, if possible, if anything I want to do, I want to do what I typically get so that I know I'm on brand. I'm aligned with my audience, right? The other thing that you can do is you click overview and then you can go from watch time to views. Now, this is interesting, right? Because we do see, as it mentioned, views wise, it's right at the bottom. And we'll talk about that later in this training. There's definitely some other conclusions I could make from this video, but so far so good. So this is kind of just explaining some of those things. Now, here's a great example of a video I uploaded a little while ago, way underperforming. And it's like, it tells us, hey, your video got 46% fewer views than usual in the first 22 hours. You typically get this much. Now, we do the best tips and tools on Think Media for helping you build your influence with online video, which means cameras and which means YouTube strategy videos and social media strategy videos. We do tech and we get a little bit away from it. I've touched on drones a little bit, lighting. Even drones, though, is a little off brand for us. And as we go through Hypergrowth Blueprint, it's about getting more narrow, I think, right? And it's about using data to make decisions. This remote I covered, a little narrow, man. Kind of expensive, out of the range for most people. Only applies to 2 drones, not even across brands. And so you have really 2 things to conclude here. One, you know what? You had to at least know it's going to underperform and you're okay with that. However, it is influencing the algorithm because it will influence your next upload. So if I'm making data-driven decisions, I'm saying, okay, I need to probably trim this content out of my future or this topic, find somewhere else for it to live, do it somewhere else, don't do it at all. But you got to be paying attention to the data, right? This one, on the other hand, crushed. Nice work. It's really taken off. 124% more views than usual. You typically get this. So our question is, what is the view and watch time velocity? What's the watch time velocity? What's the view velocity? How quickly is it growing? The key term is that view velocity. And the goal is the faster, the better, because the faster it goes up, that time period matters. The faster it goes up, the better. And YouTube goes, oh man, people are vibing with this. We're going to show it to more people. Question number 3. Where are the views coming from? Where are the views coming from? Are my efforts working on social media? Are they working online? Are they working? The YouTube Studio tells us. So if you go to reach viewers on one specific video, normally that gray line is how my videos perform. So you can see this is a hit. This is boom. This is like a grand slam, right? Boom. Just flying out of the park, like still going up, like just crushing. It's the dream of YouTube, is to put out videos like this. So we ask, why is this video performing so well? What about it? So when you say where viewers coming from under reach viewers, here's a few sections. The first section up here is actually where your viewers are coming from. So browse features, 68%, suggested videos, 12%, YouTube search, 6.4%. Clearly, the biggest is browse features. And what is browse features? That's your current audience. Browse features are people that are subscribed or they're being recommended, I think, on the homepage, but they've probably watched your content before, and that's why they're being recommended your content. But here's the thing. So that means it's an advantage for me to have subscribers. That means you should build subscribers. But what that also means is my DJI, no matter how many subscribers I have, that remote video did not do good. And guess what? It didn't get browse feature distribution. Why? Because if the content wasn't resonating with my audience, even YouTube won't even show it to your own people unless they have notifications turned on. Are you getting this? So one of the reasons it did so well is because it resonated so deeply with my subscribers. And I'm asking, how do I, once you're subscribed, it's not a guarantee they're going to watch everything. They're like, we don't care about that stupid remote, bro. I don't even got a drone. But people want to know what camera YouTubers are using and why, so your topic matters. Of course, YouTube search drove traffic to this one too, suggested videos. So different traffic sources. You also could say external. So this video got views from off of YouTube. Tap Bio. That is my software I use. It's a cool app that I use for Instagram. And so I'm seeing, okay, me building my influence on Instagram and telling people, link in the description to watch the video, led to 16.8% traffic of the external traffic overall that came to this video. This video has thousands of views. It's probably hundreds of people that came over here from Instagram, right? Google search. Oh, that's powerful. People type in search, find this video. Twitter. So depending on what social media platforms, they're driving traffic to this video. You also have suggested videos. It'll show the exact videos, your videos being suggested on, probably some of your own and probably some others. It'll also show you where impressions are coming from, and we'll touch on that in a while. And so generally on this page of reach viewers, ask yourself, where is the traffic actually coming from? Like, where's it coming from? And can I repeat that? Should I, if Tap Bio is working, then maybe I should go deeper on Instagram. How can I develop my Instagram strategy to keep even more people? Usually when something's working, don't ignore it. Do more of it, right? Refine it, go deeper on it. But you can't do that if you're not looking at your analytics. Number 4, study audience retention. Study audience retention. So if we go to the interest viewers tab of a specific video, this video is what cameras do YouTubers use and why. And on the interest viewers tab, we can see the audience retention box right there. If we click see more, it brings us to this page. This is what I want you to study. What will happen is this is a viewing graph and it'll correlate with actual moments in your video. And so what's cool about that is that I should ask a couple questions. When are people dropping off? Why are people dropping off? I could also ask, what parts have real-time engagement? What's that? Well, when you look at this slope, this video is performing extremely well. And by the way, this video is giving YouTube what it wants. So guess what? It's being recommended more. It's ranking more, suggested videos, keeps getting views. Why? This is why. Now, most videos, they have a steep swoop, even many of mine. They have a steep swoop, and then just kind of your diehard 20, 30% of your audience might watch it. But this one, look, the viewership goes up. What was happening there? That actually means someone was watching the video, desktop or phone, and was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to go back to that part. Give people a reason to rewind. I'm going to go back to that part. I'm going to go back to that part again. I'm going to look at that part. And what I actually learned was what people, they were scrolling around because they realized I put these graphics here on the video. And because it summarized the camera and the part name and whatnot, at these moments, these peaks, were people scrolling through to look at the individual camera that each person recommended. This is a good thing because it's an engagement signal. YouTube's like, dude, this person is not just chilling, reclined, listening to this thing. They're leaning in, touching the screen and moving bars around and rewatching parts. That's a high level of engagement. We like that. And one of our goals is to actually get 50% of our audience to the end, nearly to the end of the video. And right where it drops off is I'm completely happy with, because right at that moment I say, hey, if you enjoyed this video, then actually go check out this one, so people do. So it's really powerful. Here's another example on video influencers, more of a bigger slope, right? But there's these little humps. Like, what are these little humps about? Well, turns out that all those little bumps are actually when the titles come up. So maybe somebody that also goes, maybe this is you, right? When you watch YouTube videos, maybe you watch them faster. I do, 1.5 speed, 2x. And sometimes I scroll around. I'm like, get to the chase, man. I'm like, cool. Like, appreciate you, but I'm going to just jump right to this moment. So in this case, someone's probably like, okay, what are all the points? Fine, a little bump in engagement. Or they wanted to go back and write down all the points or something. So you want to audit, why are things happening? And then one of the things you want to look for is there a drop if your face is not on screen, or if you are in if it starts getting dark on camera, like why are there significant drops? If there's a normal slope, you want to think about maybe improving your content overall, consolidating it. But here's what I want you to do is study this more than once a year. Study this generally, because what gets measured gets improved. So the more you look at it, the more you refine it, this is what's going to level you up as a hyper-growth YouTube content creator, so that you can always be refining your content and making it stronger. What gets measured gets improved. Number 5, what is my CTR? What's my CTR? We're talking about 10 questions, right? You should ask. And remember, YouTube is telling us what makes it happy. Sean, what's a CTR? Glad you asked. That's your click-through rate. So here, what's a CTR? Well, a CTR is your clicks divided by your impressions. Oh my gosh, I didn't know we were getting into math, algebra, geometry. I don't even know. And so here's how it works. If you got 20 clicks out of 1,000 opportunities to click, it'd be a 2% click-through rate. So someone's on YouTube, they're on their homepage. They see this video and they see this video. That's an impression. They haven't clicked on anything. And then they see 20 other videos from other people. And so my thumbnails, my videos get served to 1,000 people. But no one clicks on the iJustine and Sean one. They only click on best camera deals. And out of 1,000 impressions, 20 people actually click through, 2% click-through rate. That's how it works. So here is now the YouTube Studio funnel that has massive implications for you and I as a creator. And this is applied in a 28-day time period to my channel overall. And there's a 4.3% click-through rate on the channel. Okay, if I click this little eye on my funnel, and you could do this inside of your YouTube Studio, it'll open up and break it down. Okay, out of all the impressions that your channel gets, some of the impressions, viewers seeking your content and other, could be the fact that we're sending out social media. People that are typing in Think Media, going directly to us, clicking through of a link on an email, they're already here. So in this case, 55% of people, they're seeking out Think Media content. But basically 50% of the viewership in just this month period time was from YouTube recommending the content. Where? On the watch page and on the home page. So YouTube is recommending my content for me. This is insane. We're living in an era, right, where it's like YouTube, I view it as these little robots holding up your thumbnails and like running around the world showing it to people. Like, hey, you want to watch this? Like, if you want to watch this, click through and you can come watch my stuff. So our question is, how do we get YouTube to show our, and they, by the way, it's free. Like, this is organic reach from YouTube. And what's awesome is YouTube actually tells us in one of the most powerful sentences, period, probably the most powerful sentence of YouTube. And it says this: you can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing your two things, click-through rate and your video watch time. You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of like the 5 love languages book. You know, we're talking about like making YouTube happy, having strong relationships. And so I read this book early on in my marriage, and really great for my wife and I both did. And we learned that like humans have different love languages, right? So some love languages are like gifts. Some are quality time. So gifts, when you're getting those gifts, the person loves you. Quality time, look, I don't want gifts. I just want you. Like, let's come hang out. Or maybe it's like physical affection. Or maybe it's words of affirmation. There's 5. Or it's acts of service. So I know for me, I love words of affirmation. This morning, my wife came in and she said, "You're going to crush it today." I hope I am. I hope you're getting value out of this course. I love acts of service. It's like if the house is ready, or if errands are taken care of, or whatever it is, it means the world to me, lights me up. And most of us usually have one dominant love language, right? Now, the big thing we learn in relationships is that you might be making massive action in relationships. Like, honey, I'm buying you all this stuff. I bought you a Jeep. I bought you some rings. I bought you some jewelry. But if you're not hitting the right love language, then that person's love tank could still be empty. This is a profound thought. And so when you start dialing in with the thing that is like, cool, like for one, gifts it's nothing for me. Like it just doesn't even register. I'm like, cool, honey, like great. But it's different love languages. She's learned that. Gifts is a big one for Sonia. So like whatever it is, let's apply that to YouTube then. YouTube is telling us its love languages. It's like, look, if you want us to promote you, like, look, you want to be cool with us and we be cool with you. Let's do this thing together. Like, if you want us to promote you, increase your click-through rate and increase your watch time. Pretty powerful, right? And so we should be asking, okay, what's our click-through rate? And how do we raise it up? In this course, we're going to be talking about strategies, but right now we're just getting an overview and understanding how YouTube works, right? Big deal. Now, as we've discussed, there's channel analytics overall, and there's also individual video analytics, right? We can always look at our channel overall click-through rate, but we also could study the click-through rate of a specific video. So the overall channel at the time of taking this was 4.3% for me. But if I jump into a specific video that's a little bit older now, although this is only in the last 28 days. So this video gets views while you snooze. It's ranked. It's still being watched. This has a 4.8% click-through rate. 4.8%. And how do you influence that? Well, we're going to cover that later. But, your title, your thumbnail. But honestly, there's something much more profound. And that actually is alignment, clarity and alignment, right? 4.8, it's a little bit higher. Why? Because best YouTube gear is super on brand for my channel, right? And for my value proposition, for my niche. That DJI remote control that we talked about, it's a little bit of a stretch. And so it could have been the best thumbnail and title in the world. But if it's not aligned, well, then nobody wants to click on it, right? They're not interested in the topic itself. So be thinking, what's your click-through rate? Your overall goal is to increase your click-through rate, because YouTube tells you, look, we're going to share your content more when you do. Question number 5, what is my average view duration? What is my average view duration? So on that same funnel, deeply important, in the last 28 days, the average view duration was 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Across the board, all my content up and down. And as with most of these things go, how do we get that higher? And that is not just saying minutes total, but it's actually saying like, how long are people hanging out and dwelling on your videos? The longer, the better. YouTube wants people to come hang out on YouTube, right? They want people to spend time on YouTube. So you want to ask, what's my average view duration and how can I raise that? Again, channel wide or video wide? 5:10 on this video, it's a little bit longer. As we go through this, check out some of your videos. Check out your channel view duration. And check it out among different time periods, because it can change. This is a 28-day snapshot. You could do it for a longer time as well. Number 6 is, what search terms do I rank for? One of my favorites. What search terms do I rank for? We use tools like vidIQ that give us a really cool dashboard that tell us what tags we're ranking for in like real time. But the YouTube Studio actually tells us after the fact how effective our ranking efforts were. And so what search terms do I rank for? If you go to reach viewers on a specific video And in this particular case, you then are going to scroll down. So if you scroll down on the page underneath the funnel area, you're going to see YouTube traffic source, YouTube search, and you're going to see the top terms that were driving traffic. So when someone types in best camera for YouTube, 7.9% in the last 28 days of the search traffic was from that exact phrase people typing in. Camera for YouTube. What camera do you use for YouTube? And on and on. Now, if I click see more, it's actually going to blow up and give me even more terms. And some have led to a lot of views. And some, like equipment to start a YouTube channel, have led to less, 230. But check this out. Overall, this video in just the last 28 days got 26,887 views from search alone. Come on, I hope that gets you pumped. This is why we talk about ranking videos. To this day, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, and 26,887 people in 1 month's time watched a video that I made 6 months ago. And not because of any of this other stuff. It gets traffic from other places. This is just search. So you can go back and see, even if a video still doesn't rank, by the way, the video could have stopped performing, but you can look in its history, look at the lifetime of the video and say, man, that's cool. For a couple weeks there, this term was leading to it. This term was leading to it. And you can actually have a reason to click your heels a little bit, be grateful to be like, this is insane. A free platform, YouTube, is giving me free traffic that's just coming from search. And if you haven't got these results yet, I want to encourage you, don't give up in learning of YouTube video optimization, because when you master ranking, it can have massive implications for your business and brand. Now remember, change the time period. You can look at different time periods. So when I look at the history, this is since upload of this video, 203,213 views have come just from search. Look, somebody typed in good cameras for YouTube videos. People typed in what camera do you use for YouTube? 200,000 just from search, friends. Come on, that's ranking videos. Now, we're going to talk more about that later on in this course, but I do want to encourage you, the signature course at Think Media here is Video Ranking Academy. It is the thing that changed our brand, changed our world. If you haven't gone through that, if you're not a part of that, I highly recommend it. And in Hypergrowth Blueprint, you're going to learn a lot of the top level concepts you need to know for ranking videos. So stick through this course. We're not even close. We're just barely getting started in this course. But think about Video Ranking Academy as well, because mastery in that area has been what has been the thing that has been the needle mover for us overall. Number 7 question is, what is my average views per viewer? What is my average views per viewer? So now if we're inside of our studio and we go to our build an audience tab on the channel overall, this is in the last 90 days. So I've selected a particular time period here, and there's this little tab right here that says the average views per viewer is 1.8, and that's going up. You always want to see green. Analytics 101, red is bad, gray means it's pretty close, and green is good. When you see, right, like you want those green numbers, you want subscribers going up. I mean, hopefully you don't want green dislikes. You want dislikes going down, but you want your likes going up. And so green is a good sign, right? That's growth. And in this case, average views per viewer, channel-wide for me in the last 90 days is 1.8. It's pretty good. Why? It means that the average person is watching pretty much 2 videos. Now, it would be much better if that was like 5 or 10. But a goal, these are questions to ask. I'm pointing out analytics that matter, that you could think about and say, okay, how do I get people to watch more videos? How do I educate them within YouTube cards, it could be, or how do I do series? Thinking about just how do I get more average views per viewer so they're watching more stuff. And you can do this at a video level as well. You might see that this video triggers people watching 3 others. What did I do there? Or you see that this video pretty much triggers someone doing nothing else. What did I do differently? Good question to ask. Number 8, who is watching my videos? Cool. So we're seeing all these questions. Who's watching my videos though? So when we go on that same tab in our YouTube studio, you can see watch time from subscribers and also people that are not subscribed. That's a very valuable insight. Why am I getting a lot of views from people that are not subscribed? Now, when you do go after search like I do, that's one reason. And you got to be okay with that. Someone's looking for a camera review, a camera tutorial. They're not looking for a new friend. They're not looking for a new YouTube channel to subscribe to. They're looking for some specific information. So they come hang out with you and they leave. Fine. Just educate, let people know what you're doing on a weekly basis. But not everyone's going to be a massive YouTube consumer. That's great. You could still be very profitable, very effective, make a big impact by impacting non-subscribers. It's also pretty common across YouTube channels that a lot of people watch channels they're not subscribed to, and a lot of people don't even know how to subscribe, because what happens is once you start watching somebody, YouTube starts consuming that or sending that content to you on the homepage anyways. So sometimes people think they're subscribed because they watch someone so regularly, because you watch every one of their videos, so they always serve you every one of their videos, and they may not be subscribed. So then you also might want to ask, though, we always do, how do we get more people that are watching subscribed? With call to actions, with incentives, what can we do? These are questions that trigger what we could do next. Next would be gender, male and female. How's that breakdown for you? About 3 out of 4 people on Think Media are male, but a good 25% are female in our audience, at least on the YouTube channel. Top countries, where's that influence? And you might say, should I do a campaign somewhere? Maybe someday you want to do a meetup and you're like, man, I had no idea that so many people in a certain area. What countries, where around the world is your content influencing? And then what ages, right? How are you impacting people? Now, this is just food for thought, right? Food for strategy, food to think, my channel is for 55-year-old professionals, but you're like, well, they're not watching. You might want to audit the data, pivot your strategy a little bit, look for insights, and help bring clarity down here in regards to who you're impacting and how you're impacting them. Now, we're going through a lot. Your brain might already be spinning. And I want you to know even personally that I audit some of these things. There are a few of these things I focus on a lot. Some of these things, this is an overview education. You're learning, aren't you? You're getting how analytics work on a macro level. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed like I have to apply all of this and figure out how this all works. I want you to never forget this quote. What gets measured gets improved. Be encouraged. Just by looking, pondering, considering, and maybe walking away with no conclusion, that's something you'll sleep on. You might be on a jog one day and you're like, it'd be a super brilliant video. I should do a video that's only for men. Watch this if you're a man. Because they're talking for men. Watch this if you're a man with a YouTube channel or something. You know what I mean? There could be an insight because I'm like, wait a minute, based on the breakdown of the demographics. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. What gets measured gets improved. As you kind of keep looking and keep studying, you will get more insight so you can make data-driven decisions. Next up, number 9, what are my top performing YouTube features? What are the top performing YouTube features? What's a YouTube feature? Well, I'm on the channel. I'm in the last 90 days. I'm on the interest viewers tab. And something to note here too is also just that in the last 90 days, our watch time is up 28%. That's the vision, right? Looking at it, we want consistent growth. That's our goal. We're doing this today, right? We're working on Think Media. We are applying these strategies. We're paying attention to our analytics. And in this course, we're going to be breaking down those 10 specific strategies. But that's your goal. If you get those green numbers, 28% in the last 90 days, I'm feeling good about the implementation of the information that we've been studying here at Think Media. But on this page, when you scroll down, and right at the top, you can see your top videos, but then it says interest viewers up here, top videos by end screen. So now you've got your top videos tab, top playlists. I hope you're using playlists. Which ones are performing? Should I add new videos to them? Should I add those to my social media promotion schedule? Put a little shortened link on this one, get a tweet ready, send that out. I know people like it. And guess what? It's the top performing in watch time. So if I can get someone to start this playlist, it has a reputation of getting lots of consumption. So I need to share that playlist more on social media. Can I update some of these playlists? Can I tweak them? What about my cards? Those are the clickable cards that you can put throughout your video. What are people clicking on and why? In a video backwards, a few slides back with iJustine, where I said it had almost 50% till the end watch time, and then everyone left because I told them to, My top performing card is that moment. Hey, if you want to see our deep dive video, look, 2.2 thousand clicks in the last 90 days on that card at a specific moment with a call to action. I'm measuring my activities. Top videos by end screen. So when people click on end screens, what videos are they clicking on the end screens? Like which ones are the most popular? And then top end screen element types. Turns out my best one is specific videos I choose. At 4%, a little bit down is then playlists are next, and then viewers, best for viewer are next. Now, there's a reason those video and playlists are my top two, because at the end of our videos, we have already planned ahead a call to action of what to do next. So for example, at the end of that video with the cameras YouTubers use, I go through the whole video and then I say, you know, our pick is actually the M50 and here's why. And we actually just did a video about it. So if you want to go watch that, click the card. Well, that's why people click the card. At the end of the video, a lot of times we'll say, so if you enjoy this video, click or tap the screen right over there for another video just like this, or for another video, click right there. So when we give, here's the point, when we give a specific call to action to a specific video that is aligned with the content that was in the video, what's the top performing? Next up is a lot of times we give a call to action to a playlist, because even better is to send someone into a playlist and then viewer. So keep in mind that like what's working is probably correlated to how you're working it. You're not even gonna have data here if you're not using end cards and cards. So it works when you work it, but then you want to audit your behaviors and say, okay, what can we do more of? What should we do less of? What are the insights we can gain from this data? What gets measured gets improved. And number 10, video, week, month, quarter, or year. Number 10, questions you should ask so you can grow faster. So when we put out a video, remember, you can look at the video level and you can look at how is a video performing. So what I just talked about here is kind of a summary of these first 10 questions I like to ask, is that I personally like to study my analytics per video. I also like to look at a week level. How did last week go? I like to look at a month level, a quarter level, and a year level. The first one is video. And you should study every video. Now you might say like, study, I don't got time for that. I'm busy. I'm talking 30 seconds, bro. I'm talking 2 minutes, sis. Chill out. Study each video, right? Here's how. If anything, just look at this snapshot. You should go into Studio Beta to be like, okay, it's looking good. The video is performing as usual. Because immediately when you look at your video, that's going to influence the shoot you're going to do next weekend or next week. How's the video doing compared to last? Should I double down on it? Man, maybe I should do a follow-up video about learning based on this information. I don't know. Over here, views are up 75% as viewers are watching longer. What's happening? Why is it happening? I did lose some subscribers here. So we'll talk about that later, but like we got to audit all the data. But remember over here, why did I pick out these time frames? Because it's the ones YouTube is telling us. So it tells us about what's happening with each upload so we can study that. And then it tells us though, hey, do you want to go week? You want to do a month view? You want to do a 90-day view? A year view? Or you can get custom. So there's insights in every case. In this case, this is a year view. I think if you've been on YouTube for over a year, consistently posting content, or even if it's not been consistent, look at a year snapshot. Hang on it for a while. You'll get some insights. You'll say, okay, well, super low views during that period. I didn't upload. You know, that's like the insight. You're like, that makes sense. Or you might say like, okay, what was happening during here? Or, you know, if you notice that biggest peak, like this little, I'm just looking right now, this spike right here is right above 4 uploads. Here was 222. It was like a little slump. So sometimes the most profound information could be the simplest information. If you want to succeed on YouTube, write this down. You have to post videos on YouTube. Thank you. Good night. Right? But like, that's like, you got to post videos on YouTube. So, okay, how can I increase my uploads? Or how do I keep my uploads consistent? How do I have maybe a different rhythm? What's happening? So that 10th question is, what's happening on my last upload? How's it doing compared to other videos? What's happened in the last week? What's happened in the last month? Now, for some of us too, you also might be like, again, you can do the quick video snapshot. I know you can, you got time. Some of us, though, this may be a side project, but I do want to challenge you. If this is a side project, ask yourself this question: how would someone at a mastery level treat this information? Like, does LeBron just hit the gym every once in a while? Does LeBron just, work on his game once a year? No, he does it consistently. And so I want you to map your efforts to your ambitions on YouTube, of course. But in this course, I do want to challenge you to stop dabbling and to start dominating. To start saying, like, I'm going to get sniper on the data. I don't understand it yet. I'm going to learn it. Like, I'm not going to learn it overnight. LeBron didn't smash it, the game overnight. He did it from going to the gym consistently, practicing consistently, leveling up consistently. So the more you look at this stuff, the more you measure it, and the more you check in with it. And so again, I seasons of my life with Think, I was kind of a side hustle. You got to manage it according to the time you have. But I'm telling you, as we increase clarity, as we increase purpose, as we get better insights and better data, it'll influence our decisions and it'll influence our strategy, and strategy changes everything. Experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluated experience is. It is irresponsible for you not to check in on your investment. What do I mean? Dude, videos are hard, man. You're planning videos, you're shooting them, you're setting up lighting, you're spending money. You're investing in this course, but you're investing in cameras and lighting, and you're investing in travel. Like, whatever it is you're doing, you're putting out so much out front. I think a lot of us could grow from taking a little bit of time to slow down and audit the content that we're creating before just frantically creating more, right? You're putting so much energy in the front end. Make sure to take some time to study it on the back end. And also, if you've never downloaded the YouTube Studio app, get that as well. It's not anywhere near as cool as like the Studio Beta or the Studio right now, but they're going to keep updating it, I'm sure. And that is a nice way to check in while you're at the line at a grocery store, or when you're, waiting somewhere and you got some time to kill. That way you can take some of your insights with you. And I also want to encourage you, I hope you have the YouTube app on your phone, but then update them all. So maybe you've had them, but make sure they're updated, because YouTube will always kind of do new things in there. And that way, I'm looking at this sometimes a couple of times a day. I'm looking at my real-time views. How's the last video ranking? Should I push it a little bit more? Is it getting, what's the velocity of it? So use these tools. What gets measured gets improved. And so quick summary: study channel and specific video analytics. Okay. Overall channel is one way to look at it, and specific videos. And then study different time periods. How'd my last video do? What's the snapshot? What's that gray area? How's it doing? It typically performs this way. Is it above or below? And then how are things doing in the last week? How about the last month? What about the last quarter, etc.? And what gets measured gets improved. I know this is a lot. Might be your brain's hurting. You got some time, because you could pause the course now before we get into the next training. But what gets measured gets improved. I just know this. And as I close with a story, back when I started YouTube and affiliate marketing, the first ever payment from Amazon I got was $2.12. Wow. Can't pay your rent with that, can you? But as I reflect, I think it's actually maybe the favorite check I've ever gotten online. And here's why. Because it was the first check, and it was $2.12 more than my neighbors made online that day. You know what I mean? It was proof of concept. It was the fact that, wow, this is not a significant number, but this is a significant moment, because I just need to figure out how to do this better. And then what I started to do from then on was I started to wake up pretty much every day during the week, especially, and I would look at my Amazon analytics. It's not even just YouTube, right? And I would look in there and I'd be like, okay, how many clicks did we get yesterday? Why did we make $5 this month? What products are selling? What else should I talk about? And I'll tell you this, the majority of the time that I was looking at stuff, I wasn't coming away with profound revelations. What I was doing was just measuring, knowing that as I look, as I study, as I kind of plant the seeds of this information, it's going to lead to deeper strategy in the future. Because the more I look at it, the more I'm attentive to it. It makes sense, right? The more you tend to your garden, the more you nurture it, look at it, you keep the weeds out, you keep it fertilized, you keep it healthy, then it'll flourish. What happens if you ignore something? You don't put much energy into it, or you don't actually evaluate to see how things are going, but only judge by one metric that maybe isn't important. Or maybe just you're judging by your outputs of videos, which is good, but how are they doing? You know what I mean? Just the more you get into this, little by little, you're going to build massive momentum because what gets measured gets improved. In the next session, we're going to be talking about the 10 YouTube commandments. And so I hope you're fired up and ready for that. But definitely pace yourself in this course. Maybe take some time to study some of your YouTube analytics. Make sure that all of this stuff, by the way, is built on top of our personal clarity worksheet. So download that, fill that out, and I will see you in the next session. Ayo, how YouTube works is over. 10 commandments is next. Q&A is probably happening next. Friends, I'm going to take a little break here as Heather comes in. We're going to do some sniper stuff around some of these questions that came in with affiliates or with analytics. How many questions would you say I have?
You have 3 that would be for this section.
Perfect.
We have other questions, but the feedback, just so you know, my brain is bursting. This was the best analytics training. The information here is so informative. My brain is melting. My brain dump. Thank you, bravo. Are we gonna have a food break?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna eat something right now.
Yeah, so those are some questions.
Heather's I'm gonna do 3 questions in a second, but Heather's got some other ones, and she'll hang out. And hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
And hey, if you're getting value out of this, and I would love to hear, tweet me out at Sean Cannell, share it on Instagram stories, tag me, or just wherever. I will probably catch up with those late tonight or something, but I'll be able to see them if you tag me. So
about 20 minutes.
Of what?
To let people digest this and take a little break, and we can put the timer up and all that after.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, wait, so that's starting right now?
No,
or you're jumping in
right
right
now, and
okay.
then we'll give people like 10 from there. So.
Okay.
We'll just...
Do you want to start and stop or no? If you're gonna give them a 20.
All right.
Probably at the very end of this one.
That was fun, huh? Wow, so many questions coming in. This is the time to grab your water. This is time to order that Chipotle. This is the time to take a bathroom break. But wow, I love seeing your guys' feedback. Awesome sessions, Sean. I let him know that. You guys rock. Thank you so much. We've put a lot of time into this training, and so it's really exciting. Mel, look at the difference. This one's pretty. I'm looking at Sean's screen, and that's not the one I'm on, but this is a pretty camera over here. I like it. All right, so I have some questions coming in, but we have a giveaway. We have another YouTube Secrets book giveaway, and the winner is... Dare to Dream. What was it? Dare to Dream School. You won a book, YouTube Secrets giveaway, and who else was it, Mel? Hang on, let me go back up. Who was the other one? I will find out. Mel's going to choose the other one. Mel's going to tell me who it is. But I had some questions coming in. Now, these are the questions Sean's going to answer. He's going to answer April's question. He's going to answer Wheels to Walking's question. And he's going to answer Connie's question. I have some other ones I've been answering in the chat. So you can keep asking him there in the live chat. Let's see what we have here for you.
We can do Stamp a Blessing.
Go ahead.
Stamp a Blessing for the other book.
Oh, Stamp a Blessing. You win a copy of YouTube Secrets. If you win a copy of YouTube Secrets on our live stream today, you just need to send an email to hello@Sean Cannell and say, Mel, I won a book, and she will make sure to get that sent out to you. We're really excited. Have you guys read this book? What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you're in the chat right now. Have you guys read YouTube Secrets? You know, watching Sean and Benji develop this book was really a really good learning process for me, because when you write a book, you have to actually like put your thoughts down on paper and organize it. And if you are looking for like the handbook of YouTube, like you're really looking at how do I do YouTube, this is the book. This is the book, Kyle. Kyle's looking at me. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? This is the book. Have you guys read it? Okay, yes, me, congrats. Awesome. Audiobook is coming April 2019. We're almost done with the audiobooks. If you're an audiobook listener, how do you become eligible to win a book? Nikachu, you win a book. You made a comment. You just won a book because I saw your comment. So email Melissa at hello@Sean Cannell. and she will get you a book. So Melissa, I just let Nakacho win a book also.
All right.
What are you guys doing over there?
Chipotle order.
Oh, they're putting in a Chipotle order. Very nice. All right, so we have some questions coming in. If you've not downloaded yet your Hypergrowth Blueprint Guide, this was for the first section. So if you missed the first section with us, you can still get access to the guide. And we had some people asking Mel about, they're ready to buy this. They are excited about Hypergrowth Blueprint. They're like, I want this information. And we are only giving it to Inner Circle members. So we've decided, Melissa and I have decided that we're gonna let them in. We're going to let them in Inner Circle. So Inner Circle is closed to the public right now, but we are going to let you, if you're watching on this live stream, we're going to let you join Inner Circle by a private link. That link is
thinkinnercircle.com.
Thinkinnercircle.com. Type that in the chat if you guys can. Thinkinnercircle.com. If you go there, you can get access to Inner Circle and Hypergrowth Blueprint. This is only going to be accessible if you're on this live chat and you're hearing this, because how else would you know? So we'll let you guys know that again tomorrow as well. But I'm really excited to let you guys know that if you do want access to Hypergrowth Blueprint, we had people already asking, how can we get this? We want this. We are going to let you into Inner Circle, which is now closed for enrollment, but we're going to open it for you today. And that is at thinkinnercircle.com. More information to come about that. But if you are dying to get in right now, that's how you do it. Who is in Inner Circle? If you are on the chat right now, are you inside of Inner Circle? Just tell me, drop an IC fam inside the Inner Circle. And that will help us. All right. We've got some questions coming in. I would just like a salad with no dairy.
Okay.
I want Melissa's order.
Melissa, order it.
Okay.
Melissa's order. They're like, what do you want at Chipotle? No dairy, no meat. That's Heather. Yes. All right. So we had some, Izog Adventure said, what's your favorite area of analytics? Izog, my favorite area of analytics is to see my top performing videos and how they're getting discovered. As a YouTuber who is only doing it part-time, meaning I upload a video once a month. That's pretty part-time. I like to see how are people finding my videos. And so I really like to study that out. I also like to see my top performing videos, and I like to see where people are stopping in my videos. So I have on my channel right now, I have about 25 videos, and I like to see where are people leaving? Is it something I said? Is it, you know how Sean was showing, like you can go through and you see that dip of where people are dropping off. I want to get the most minutes out of my videos, out of the time I'm putting into the investment of creating videos. And so I want to know, when are they leaving? Like, what is making them leave this video? And then I want to know what is making them get to the video. To me, those are my two things that I look for as a YouTuber. Sean walked through how we do it as a company and how we do it as content creators that are doing this full time. We really study analytics because we want to be, one, like Sean said, being the team, being the coaches that are helping you along, but also we want to always be dialing in our content so that we are maximizing what YouTube is asking for. So that's what I love. Let's see what we've got in the chat over here. Yes, look at all the IC fams. I love that. I love seeing, hey Mike, hey DJ, hey DMJ. Let's see, Ronnie's in the house. We've got Mary in the house. Guys, IC is so much fun. I love Inner Circle. Let's see. Stamps to Blessing, real quick. She says, why is Facebook not appearing as bringing me views? Stamp to Blessing, you might not be getting enough views to be trackable. So depending, I don't know how many videos you have out. I'm not sure how large your channel is. But guys, in order to get analytics, you have to have videos that can be getting analytics, right? So someone said, how many videos should I post in there in order to start tracking analytics? I'd say you need a good 10, 15, 20 videos before you start to see where analytics are coming from. And Sean's going to go in a little bit deeper into that coming up in the next part of the training. But you need to always be constantly uploading so you can be evaluating those uploads. All right, Mel, what else do I have? Who else is asking questions?
All right.
Zach asked a while ago. You want me to answer Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know if there's a big enough market for your area? So I'm going into general questions that have been asked throughout the live session. How do you know if there's a big enough market? Zach, here's what I would do. One, I would evaluate, are there other people doing what you want to do? Now, most people think that's a bad thing. They're like, shoot, Joey's already doing it. I can't do it. Joey's already doing it. I can't do it. But here's the thing. If Joey's already doing it and Joey's killing it, it means that people want what Joey has to offer. So how do you evaluate if if there's enough people who want what you're doing? Is someone already doing it? That's the first evaluator. Second evaluator is, are there people somewhere else online that are loving what you're doing? Like, are there people online who are obsessed with Chihuahua dogs, but they're not on YouTube yet? If there's people online, if there's a community around something already, then it's big enough to start going in that direction. Now, Sean has a breakdown of profit, proficient, and passion. That is in another video that I'll have Mel find for you. She probably has no clue. I'll tell her which one it is. But he breaks down, like, just because there's passion in it doesn't mean that it can become a business, right? Just because you can make profit in it doesn't mean that you're passionate about it. So if you are evaluating if your niche is large enough, you need to figure out, are there people there? Are there ways to make money through that? Like, can you make products and services within that business niche? And then are you proficient at it? So are you going to be talking about something that you have some experience in? So those are the 3 breakdowns, and those are the 2 ways I would decide if your niche is large enough to go in. All right, Mel, who else should I answer?
We have a question about, is there a thing such as niching down too much by simple skiing?
Ooh, really great question. Is there such thing as niching down too much? I would say that simple skiing, I would challenge you to niche down as much as you can, because here's the thing. When you start talking to one person, niching down to one person is pretty specific, right? When you start niching down to one person, you'll actually open that up to a larger market. So here is what I mean. On there, Dawn was saying, I'm not your target market. I'm a 55-year-old professional. I'm not your target market. But here's the thing. We were talking to one person, but Dawn still resonated with the overall message. Like, we were putting out such polarizing content that broke through the noise that he was like, that fits me too. So I would say when you're niching down, keep niching down. Like, we see all the times in clients that'll come in and they'll say, I think I'm too narrow. You're not too narrow. You're not too narrow yet. Sean used the example of underwater basket weaving. That's pretty narrow. But if there's a market out there for it, then there's someone that you can help. So I would say that you need to be known for one thing first. So niching down to be known for one thing first is going to be really impactful for when you break through, so you can talk about more things. But if I'm looking simple skiing, I'm assuming you're doing skiing. Is that different? Like, I don't know. I'm not really an avid skier right now. But there's like cross country skiing. There's different types of slope skiing. There's like, how do you find rental skis? There's like, there's probably a ton of information within skiing. Now that is different than snowboarding, right? So like, that's already a niched, area there. Mel, do we know his channel? Simple Skiing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I hope that helped you out there. Simple Skiing. And thanks for being on today.
So Heather,
yeah.
iZog Adventure and I want to know, what is your favorite area of your analytics?
Ooh, yeah, I answered that one.
Ooh, okay.
I know. Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. I answered
Maybe
it.
go back and rewatch it. I want to know what that is.
Mel, you actually can't rewatch this unless
no.
you're an Inner Circle member. Mel's an Inner Circle though. Dun dun dun.
How many videos? And we've answered that. How many
Yep.
videos you should do as a new channel? And so I think we just have a couple more questions.
Ooh, I like this one. Walking the World.
Yeah.
How do you best find what your audience is looking for online? Okay, Walking the World. How do you best find what your audience is looking for online? First, I would say before you go online, let's talk about this guy over here. That was fun. The first thing I would do is I would write down the top 25 questions that your target audience is asking. So, because the answers that they need might not be online yet. That's a key piece. But how do you find what your audience is looking for online? You go to the YouTube search bar. So you go to the YouTube search bar, download a tool called keywordseverywhere.com. If you guys can type that in the chat for me, keywordseverywhere.com. This is a free tool you can get on your dashboard on your desktop, keywordseverywhere.com. You would start typing things in. So my niche is homeschooling. My side project is homeschooling. I really am passionate about mothers understanding that they can educate their children from birth through high school. And so what I did is I went online and I said, what do I search for? Because I was that person. I was the person when I wanted to learn how to homeschool, I needed to figure out like what kind of curriculum should I use and like what are state requirements and how do you even homeschool? Like what do you do all day? How do you stay patient? Do you discipline differently? How are you mom and teacher? So I had all these questions. And so when I was researching going into that myself, I knew that the type of content I wanted to create was that exact content. So I just wrote down different things. I wanted to know what's the difference between homeschooling and public schooling. So when I went to YouTube and found that that video wasn't really out there, I made the video because I thought, well, that's what they're searching for because I was that person. So you can also ask your audience. I think one thing that we don't do enough of is actually talk to our target audience. And here's why. We don't want to sound like we don't know, right? Like we don't want to actually be the ones to be like, I have no clue what they want more of. And here's the thing. When you break down that barrier and you become their friend in the process too, when you're not just the hero and they're the hero, when you're like, hey, I really want to make more content. Actually, you can go to our social media, Sean's social media. He asked today, hey guys, are you using YouTube Studio Beta? I mean, he asked that question on Twitter as a poll. And why did he ask that? Because he wants to know, are people even using this yet? Like, can this course that I'm creating right now benefit more people? Absolutely, we know it can. But I would love you to ask your audience. I would find a group of people, whether you're inside of groups or you're online. I would ask them, hey, dog lovers, do you know X, Y, and Z? Or I'm Walking the World. I'm assuming you're a travel channel. I'm assuming. What do you think, Mel? Walking the World? Sounds like a travel channel. I would start asking people that are into your content in the comment section. I would use that for conversation, not just for comments. So if someone's commenting on your video, say, great, do you like this video? What else would you like me to create? That is gold right to you. How did we create Video Ranking Academy? We created it because we knew that people were asking for that. That's how we created it. Why are we creating this? Because a majority of questions that have been coming in are, how do I get more views? How do I make my videos better? How do I understand what YouTube wants? How do I beat the YouTube algorithm? Those were questions that came in. And so Sean sat down and started putting the things that he was learning into action. So how do you find out what your audience is looking for online? Those are 3 ways you can do it walking the world. Yes. What do you have, Mel?
Okay, I have a question for Sean about the audiobook. Wondering if whose voice they're going to be hearing.
Ooh.
I actually just leaked it. We're not advertising it, but it just came out today.
Oh, it did go through?
Yeah, it's public. So,
yay!
both.
Don't tell
we alternate.
Yay!
So, it goes. We alternate chapters. If you have Audible, it's on Audible. I've got 3 Audible credits. I'm going to spend 1 on my own audiobook just to try to get some traffic on it.
Everyone in the Think team is buying an audiobook today. Thank you, Dr. Who. That is really nice. They said Sean's leaning and sipping coffee in the background, watching as his protege crushes it. Yes. Right. Awesome. Let's see. Downloaded the audiobook, just bought it. Hey, thank you guys so much. You know what would really, yeah, I know.
Probably did.
You know what would really, really help us out so much, guys, is if you've read the book, we would love a review on Amazon. That helps us out so much. If you can go to Amazon and just type out a couple sentences that you would say to your best friend who needs to read this book, it would mean the world to us, because how do you hack the Amazon algorithm? Reviews. That's how you do it.
And people read reviews too. So
absolutely.
If you take some time to just share from your point of view, it's really powerful.
Yeah, it really, really helps us out. But thank you guys for downloading that book. Let's see what else we have coming up, Mel.
So Animated Christians says it's neat seeing the behind the scenes and shows how much work you take to put into a course. It's incredible.
Yes, yes. And you know what? This is teamwork. Sean is definitely the master here at Think Media. It all comes from his brain in this type of area, but this is really teamwork. And I want to encourage you that if you don't have a team around you yet, you are your first team member, so you have to be bought into this. But I would encourage you to get someone on board as soon as possible, whether that is, you know, someone that's helping you watch the kids, whether that is, you know, someone that's that is going to help you edit your videos, whether that's someone that's going to create slides for you. If you're really serious about making this a business, I encourage you to get a team member sooner. I would say that's probably one of the biggest things we've learned as a company is we needed help faster than we were actually hiring people on. And once we got this incredible team in place, it has been like jet fuel to this rocket that we have going. So if you are in a place where you're like, you know what, I really want, if you're like on the cusp of really making this happen, I would encourage you to stretch yourself and get that team member. And, you know, when I came on to Think Media was a YouTube channel that Sean had created with himself and his wife, and they were doing great. They were already crushing it 6 figures on affiliate marketing. And I met him over Twitter, and I was moving to Las Vegas with my family. Him and his wife were already in Las Vegas. And I said, hey, I have these kind of skills. I think we should collaborate. I think we should do something. And we met at a coffee shop and talked it out. And he was like, everything you're saying is awesome, and we could really build something. But here's the thing. I cannot pay you anything right now, right? I can't pay you anything. And I was fortunate enough to be in an entrepreneurial position where I was like, well, that's great. Let's do this anyways. Like, let's build something that I know in the long run could matter. And so there are people in Inner Circle that are waiting to partner. There are people in your life, I'm sure. Actually, just now, I was telling Kyle, oh man, I'm really looking for a second editor to help me with my YouTube channel because I don't want to edit videos. And he was like, oh yeah, my friend owns this company. You should probably reach out to him. Like, me just putting that out there saying, hey, I'm looking for this. Hey, I want to grow this team on the side. I was able to see that. And so I encourage you that if you do not have a team in place, if you are team member number 1, I would be getting your eyes open for team member number 2, because no one who is succeeding today is doing it alone. No one is self-made. There are people in your life, your mom, your grandma, your girlfriend, your husband, your sister's brother's friend who watches your kid on Tuesday, your niece's friend who does your social media. Like, you're not doing this on your own. And so I just encourage you to think about all the areas of your life where you could bring someone on so that your mind is freed up. Because if his mind wasn't freed up, if he had to do everything I'm doing, how far would you go, Sean? Yeah. Yeah. You know, if Mel wasn't here to like allow me to be able to sleep on a Tuesday, it wouldn't be happening. So I would encourage you to be looking for your next team member.
And it doesn't have to be full time.
It does not have to be full time.
Like somebody helping you clean the house might buy you 5 hours to work on your business.
Yep. So stay in your zone of genius. Yes, wheels to walking. That is so critical. I've found, especially as a mom and a wife, I was just telling Mel this today, my breakthrough was understanding that my journey did not have to look like my mom's. My breakthrough was really understanding that I hate cooking and I hate cleaning, and that it was okay for me to be able to do the things that I know I'm called to do, that someone else who loves cleaning toilets, like other people have businesses on cleaning your house and cooking your food. Like, that is amazing. And they love it. And that's their zone of genius. So I want to be able to support other small businesses, and I want to be in doing the things that I know I'm really great at. So my journey doesn't have to look like my mom's or my sister's or my best friend's journey. And that's okay. Because I know that if I'm going to be in my zone of genius, that I need to have people around me who are going to help support me, who are going to be the village to help move this company forward. So that's my big rant on that. I love that. Wheels to I have a house cleaner for that reason. Yes, I feel you. All right, how we doing, Mel?
We're doing good. Mary's Nest says that Studio Beta is a bit overwhelming, but at least she understands the basics now.
Awesome. That is a huge win. Guys, what's been your aha moment so far in this training? I'd love to see your aha moments of what you're looking for. And I had a question, where can you buy this? You can buy this book on Amazon. And Sean just announced to you guys only today, the audiobook's out as well. You can buy this book on Amazon. You can buy it as a physical book or a Kindle. And now we actually have the audiobook paired to you by Benji and Sean.
It should be around the world too. So Amazon Canada, Amazon Australia, I believe Amazon India. So wherever you are, you should be able to get it on your local Amazon website.
And we had a question from Cocktail Chatter about how the book differs from our courses.
Ooh, that's a really great,
Interestingly
that's a great
enough,
question.
It's different. The 7 C's of
I don't know
YouTube
if they can hear you.
success is
Can
the
they hear?
foundation. What are we doing next? Should I answer those questions or?
We were giving people a break.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just giving them a little brain break.
A
It's
little
been that 10 minutes. Put another 5 on the clock, and then
And then do it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
Well, we're also going to be starting another recording, so I don't know what the best way.
Yeah, we'll after this one we'll shut this one.
Okay.
We'll come back on
Okay, perfect.
and then answer the questions.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Or should we keep it on the same
Last
stream?
time we did the questions first, and then we cut, and then we started fresh.
Yeah, I want to put the questions on this recording.
Yeah.
So it's on the same recording.
So we'll take a. Do you want to just have Sean answer them now?
I
Yeah,
can
And then
let's
we'll
do
take
it.
a break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Woohoo! I love hearing aha moments.
And they're
Yes.
on the top of the dock, unless you want me to read them.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, man, I hope you're having a good time.
And then just timer on after that, Sean, is fine. Or shut the stream down. Pop the new one up with the timer on it.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to open up your doc. Let me just make sure I got it right here. Top of the doc 3, right? April. Okay. All right. This will go in the members area. We are on the how YouTube works. And before the 10 Commandments, we're answering questions. And let me look ahead on them as a new channel. Some analytics are not generated. How can I get insights to help it grow even as a small channel? Okay. Okay. All right. Title of this video would be in the members area, what to do with a small channel. All right, hey, we had a few questions that come up whenever we talk about analytics. And one was, I'm a newer channel, so some of the analytics are not generated fully, or some are there, but they're not completely there. How can I get insights that'll help me grow as a small channel? As a small channel, you want to focus on just a lot of the basics and the best practices. There's a quote from Michael Jordan, one of the great basketball players of all time. That was when he said, master the fundamentals and everything else you do will rise. So when it comes to, I would definitely recommend like YouTube Secrets, the book. We talk about the basics, the 7 C's of YouTube success. And the interesting thing too is that sometimes I think no matter how fancy and sophisticated you get, you're never too good for the basics. Because when Michael Jordan said that, he was always already a multiple championship winner. He just kept focusing on the fundamentals. But if you're just starting, focus on the fundamentals. You don't need the analytics yet because you're just putting content out there. Some practical advice I would give you is don't be afraid to do experiments. There's, just like we're talking about in analytics, studio beta, or maybe by now it's just the main studio. Guess what? It's an experiment for YouTube. It's still in its beta phase. It's not fully perfected yet. They're getting feedback from it. You have that same option on YouTube. You could do a beta, and this is what I encourage a lot of people do, especially some of our higher level consulting clients. People will bring us in to do like one-day trainings or to completely work on a one-on-one basis with them on their brand. And one of the biggest pieces of advice I will give somebody is they're like, all right, I want to start my signature show. I want to launch out on YouTube. And I'll say, look, give yourself 3 to 6 months to experiment. Treat it kind of like a TV pilot. What's a TV pilot? It's where a studio will put up money and get actors and write some scripts, but they don't commit to a whole season of a show. They just commit to a few episodes. Then what they do is they put those out there and they test them and they get feedback on them. I think what you need to do with a small channel is give yourself permission to be in your beta season. Give yourself permission to do a few pilots. Give yourself permission to test and experiment some different formats and also to even level up your own skills. After 3 to 6 months of consistency, you'll have created a bunch of momentum. You've created new problems, new questions, but new confidence and new momentum because you're making forward progress. And we touched on it in the course, but practically I would say put your head down and create content for at least 10 to 30, even 50 videos. And I know that sounds like a lot, but keep in mind what you're building here. You're committing to being a consistent content creator. Guess what content creators do? They create content. Even if you're an entrepreneur using YouTube to grow your business, you need to kind of develop a muscle. If it's not going to be you, it's going to be someone on your team. that commits to consistency. It's the world we're living in that you got to be showing up with consistent strategic content. And so that's what I would say. Even if you have a small channel, get some experiments out there, get some tests out there, post some videos, try some different shows, some different content formats. And then after a few months and after a few uploads, you'll be able to then look at your analytics and re-go through this training inside of the YouTube Hypergrowth Blueprint for a whole new batch of insights. Question 1 video done. Question 2. Another question about this training was, does my dashboard look a little bit different than your dashboard? And is it have anything to do with the software we use, vidIQ? Now, in this course, we are going to be talking about vidIQ, and there's a lot of powerful tools that they layer on top of the YouTube Studio that you can get from vidIQ. But that could be why. I would tell you this. My homepage might look a little bit different than your page. Maybe you could still get to the classic studio. Maybe you can't. Don't worry about it because everything is moving towards Studio Beta. Yes, because I have vidIQ installed, it does push some windows and move some windows. And on the left side, I have a lot more options, and those are vidIQ giving me different insights. And if you do want to check out vidIQ right now, you could go to vidiq.com/think. It is a great tool that gives you even more insights. But if you're not ready for it yet, I'm very impressed with what YouTube Studio Beta gives us, and it's definitely a great place to start. And once you get momentum, consider using vidIQ. Never forget, it is free, so you definitely want to install it and get the free version, but I'm talking about the Boost version, which is what I use. I think that the Boost is for people once you have some momentum on your YouTube channel, once you're already crushing it a little bit. Better insights and better information, in my opinion, is always a good investment. So if you want to check that out, vidiq.com/think. Final third question for this section. Okay. Another great question that comes in about analytics is this, and that is, where can we get analytics around when is the best time to post and how long should my video actually be? What is the ideal length for my videos? These are some hard questions. Now, one of the tactics and ways of figuring out when to post is simply by looking at your real-time analytics, And what you can do is you can look at where the peaks in your real-time analytics are. And so, for example, what you would need to do is pick a specific video and then go look at or actually, I'm going to take this question from the top. Scratch that. I don't have my screen ready. 3, 2. Hi, I'm still here. Are you here? How's it going? Shout out in the chat, just pulling up some stuff. I'm actually going to probably go to YouTube Studio Classic here because for this strategy, it's a little harder to see. All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to turn this into 2 questions. Another big question that comes up when it pertains to looking at our analytics and developing a strategy is, when is the best time to post videos on my channel? Now, vidIQ, which we've talked about, actually has a phenomenal tool that audits your all the information on your channel and just serves you up the information. It just makes a data-based recommendation telling you what time of day to post. This right here is the vidIQ web-based information place. And so you can see best time to post. And what this would tell me, this is my Think Media channel. It is saying that it's at 1 p.m. and it is registering when people engage with my content. Always keep in mind that when you upload, there's going to be a spike of views, but more importantly, when you don't upload, if you have spikes of views, then you just know that many more people are on the platform. So I actually now am inside of YouTube Creator Classic. I'm on the Analytics tab and I'm on the Real Time tab. And so in the last 48 hours, you can actually see consistent spikes. Right here is right around 2 p.m. And then right here is 7 a.m. So there's 12 p.m. So 7 a.m. was a major spike if there was an upload then, that would be why. But it's pretty clear based on real-time traffic of my library, right? This is, and honestly too, if someone's actually real-time watching a video, that's a good time to upload. The person's active on YouTube at that moment. So to summarize this tip, and you could invest in something like vidIQ. It makes the information easier. You can look at real-time analytics in Studio Beta, but it's a little bit harder to see the exact time. So I'm here in Creator Studio Classic, and this is revealing to me that mornings are good. And that's also kind of how we've conditioned our audience. It's something to consider. We a lot of times try to upload around 7, 8, or 9, if not 5 p.m., based on when people are getting out of work. You can see a little spike right there. And look, it's consistent there. So there's 7 p.m., there's 5 p.m. So if this makes sense, I'm talking about looking at when people are active on your channel based on real-time analytics and then releasing videos around that time or potentially 1 to 2 hours before, because it's coming out, it's populating, it's getting some velocity. And when they're at their peak viewing time, the majority of your subscribers, then they might click through and watch it. However, let me summarize and say there's a whole non-data conversation related to this. Who's your target audience? You're filling out your hypergrowth blueprint. Heather on the Think Media team used to do live streams on other social media platforms in the afternoon during nap time. She knew her target audience was homeschool moms, and that nap time, although maybe hard to sync globally, was kind of an afternoon time where she could create some content where people could either join her live or come back later and watch. I don't know if my audience has nap time, but I do know that a lot of times people are active early in the morning or when they get off work. And if I'm hitting most of the primary United States, I'm basing my business off of my time zone. I've learned that I like to upload things early in the morning from around 7 a.m. to Pacific Standard Time, and let them perform throughout the day here in America and throughout the world. And that if I'm going to do a live stream or something, after work is also great, 5, 6, or 7. But I break those rules if I have to, or if there's some other reason to work them. So test, experiment, look at your data, consider your audience, and then choose a time to upload. Second part of the question. Another question that comes up often is, how long should my videos be? Now, it's a great question and pretty hard to answer, but we can sum it up in one sentence. Your videos should be as long as they need to be, but as short as possible. Wow, so what does that mean? Well, if you need to teach a concept, not unlike this course, some of these videos are 30 minutes, an hour long. They need to be that long because there's a lot to learn about analytics. But guess what? Hour-long, deep data-driven analytic videos probably aren't going to go viral on YouTube, right? It's probably going to be a little bit shorter, and maybe people aren't ready for that information. Or then again, they might be, because it's very clear what the promise of the information is. It's meant to be a longer teaching. If you're doing a lecture, if you're breaking down complex problems or something, I love long videos, because if it's built for your audience and your audience loves them, and they're as long as they need to be, 40 minutes, but as short as possible. No fluff, not wasting people's time, or minimal fluff. We're always going to have a little bit of fluff. That was some fluff right there. We're always going to have a little, but being brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. Pump out that content, then it's going to resonate with your audience the most. I think we all can relate to watching a video that maybe had a promise of some information or some value, and you're thankful the person's creating the content, but you look at the time code of the video and you're like, this is a 25-minute video. This person could have got through this information in 5 minutes. You know what that tells me? That video was not as short as it could be. So as long as it needs to be, but as short as possible. And a final strategy that I would say to this question is experiment with literally both content formats. Videos that are around 3 to 10 minutes and videos that are potentially much longer if it relates to your tribe, your audience, your content, and your topic. Because I have often learned that when you're newer in YouTube and people don't know you yet, they're going to resonate most with those short videos. They're not ready to go on a 2-week vacation with you as if you were married. They want to go on one date for a few hours, right? So if you're comparing it to dating and relationship, it's like, look, man, I'm not going to the, Cancun with you, or, we're not going to Belize. I want to just like get dinner. So when you're new on YouTube, shorter I think is better because people can meet you, learn you're good for it. It's like a quick date. When someone gets to know you, the top 2 videos on Think Media right now have over an hour of average view duration. I don't think people that have never met me are watching that. I don't oftentimes give an hour away to total strangers. I meet somebody with shorter value, build a relationship, build that connection, and then learn that, man, if they go deeper, there's going to be some substance there and it's going to be worth my time. The overarching tip, experiment always. Test, experiment, look at the data, try things on your own channel. Don't be afraid to take risks and then analyze to see what's working. Ask your audience questions, get feedback, and then make insight-driven, data-driven, audience-driven, with true feedback from people, decisions to optimize your content for the future, and you'll continue in hypergrowth because you're always optimizing and refining your process and your content. Hey, switching to the hair down angle. And man, having a good time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a break here in a second. I don't know if there's any more questions or anything. You're welcome, Connie. Happy to answer those. I hope you got value. And we're going to throw the countdown up in just a second. But hey, we have one more session. Reza says, Jeff Bezos says Amazon is always in beta. I love that, man. So are we. Like, our YouTube channel is always in beta. Like, keep in mind, we are teachers, obviously, and you're getting value and you're here, but we're students always. And we know a lot, we've learned a lot, but we always want to approach every day in life fresh, with fresh eyes, a fresh perspective, and never think we know it all. I've actually made a decision in my life. I don't want to be a know-it-all. I want to be a learn-it-all. And I want to keep learning. So you got to be exhausted. I'm feeling good. Although I think Kyle's got some food coming that we'll nibble on in a second. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to actually be restarting this, Reza. Yeah, good question. And so what I'm going to actually do now is throw up a countdown, and then we'll keep it going just so you can kind of know where we're at. And I'll come back on so that you can we can do the refresh together. So right now, you maybe want to do a restroom break or get some food or something. We're going to take a break for a while, and then let's go, 15 minutes. And then we'll come back for that final session, the 10 commandments. Today, by the way, of the 10 YouTube commandments. See you soon. YouTube live blueprint recording. Here's what we're going to do, friends, if you're on the watch page right now, is we are going to reset this recording. So I'm going to turn it off in just a second. It's going to take a couple minutes to reset. You can stay on this watch page, the watch page we emailed out to you, and refresh, but it'll probably take 1 to 3 minutes. And then when you refresh, you'll see the new video, and then we'll be into it. So we're going into our final session, 10 YouTube commandments of the day, by the way, final session of the day. Tomorrow is all new content. It's different. It's the rest of the course. So I'm taking it off right now. We'll reset, and then I will see you in the session.